Hey guys, welcome back to our YouTube channel SkillSnap. Today I'm here with an interesting topic that is Python. And yes, we are going to have a Python series on our YouTube channel. And I am going to teach Python from scratch. You will become a zero to hero if you are going to watch this playlist till the end. And let's get started. Firstly, let's talk about what a programming language is. To understand better about Python or any other programming language, let's consider a programming language as a translator tool. The language I know is English. The language machine know is a binary language. English consists of alphabets, and letters, that is A, B, C, D, and binary language consists of only two things, that is 0 and 1. So whatever I am talking, the machine won't be able to understand. Whatever the machine wants to convey, I won't be able to understand. So to solve this problem of and to make machine understand what task it has to perform, or to provide instructions to the machine to do a task, I need a translation tool which will convert my English into binary language so that machine will do my task. So here comes the translator tool, our hero, the programming language. So that is the use of the programming language. There are many programming languages like C, C++, Java, Python. Now, there are so many languages. Why did I choose Python to teach? Okay, Python is a very, very easy language. It is a very simple language and it is also free. Like it contains only like very simple syntax also. Okay, syntax is nothing but, there's a if you are writing Telugu, or if you are writing Hindi or English, you have a certain letters, like you can use from A to Z only in English, or if you are writing in Hindi, you use from A to Gnya or something like that. You use a combination of those words, or you use only few particular words which are there. So if I am telling in English, uh, it, go and play, it means, you understand the meaning, right? Similarly, there are few words, and there is few, there's a format in which you have to write, or you have to code in a programming language. So there is some certain syntax for that. So that is how it works. And if I want to tell my computer to print something on my screen, I have to use a certain syntax so that it will understand. So whatever is there, no, that meaning is already that meaning is already taught to the computer. So for example, as we have discussed about printing, let's get started with how to print something on the screen. There is a very simple syntax, that is print. So if you just use print, and inside print, if you are using some single quotes or double quotes, and then you give the statement which has to be printed, let's say hello world. And if I'm going to run my console, see, now the hello world got printed. Similarly, I can, let's print our YouTube channel name, that is Skill Snap. Now if I run, you can see both hello world and skill snap are printed. And if like every particular a document, or let's say an image, or any type of thing has some format with it, and has some extension also. Like if you see an image, the image has extension .jpg, and if you see a word document, it has .docs, and a PDF with .pdf. Similarly, Python also has an extension, and that extension we call it as .py. And one more thing, Python is a case sensitive language. If you say to Python, there is one uh, skill snap, and wait, and I am again writing skill snap, right? So you might say to me, what is the difference between both of them? Both of them are skill snap, right? So you and I read it as skill snap. But what does a programming language like Python do? It thinks this skill snap is different and this skill snap is different. So it considers them as two different objects. It does not consider both of them as same. So that's why we say Python is case sensitive. And not to forget, this is an interview question generally asked. So who developed Python? Python is developed by Guido von Rossum. So I don't know if it is how you pronounce the name, but this is the spelling. This they have asked me in like 3 to 4 interviews. Guido von Rossum. Please, make sure you do not forget the name. And one more thing about Python I forgot is Python can be used anywhere. You can use Python in website building, you can use it in API building, you can use it, connecting to the database, and you can use it for AI, ML, whatnot. You can use Python everywhere. And let's just go to variables, which is one more interesting topic. So if you have learned maths, like all of us have learned maths, right? We have played with variables, we have played with algebra, we played with those x and y's. Similarly, in Python or in any programming language, variables are, that is just a name. X is a name, X is a variable, right? So that variable has a name. Okay, that variable is a name actually. So what is the name for any memory location in a program? So whenever you are writing program and that has a memory location, right? And moreover, it has to fetch details from the computer memory, or it has to store something like, how do I say it? If you go to your kitchen, you have many, dabbas and all. Let's say you have one small dabba in that you store spices, and then there's one more dabba that is there you store salt, and then one more you store sugar. Similarly, you can consider those dabbas as variables in the memory location. You can consider the memory location as kitchen, and then you can store you the dabba which you store your sugar or salt or whatever are there, no? That you can consider as a variable. So that dabba, that is salt dabba, that is a name. So that you call it as a identifier. So there are certain rules for naming those variables. There are like very basic 4 rules. So variables, how do you write? Anywhere you can use 4 things to write, name variables. You can use digits, you can use English alphabets or letters, you can use underscores. Okay, and you can use any combination of all these three. Like you can just write a variable name car1, or you can have a dgf and 3 4 as a variable name, or you can have rf 5 6 as a variable name, like that. Or you can have underscore resx as a variable name. Next, one more thing, the most important thing: variable cannot start with digits. You cannot have a variable as one car. You cannot have a variable as 56 bytes. Variables can never start with digits. Next, one more thing which you cannot use in variables is special characters. Special characters like at the rate, hashtag, dollar, percentile, all such things you cannot use in variables. You cannot write as the hash 34. No, this is not allowed. Then you cannot have hen at the rate kitchen. No, such type of variable namings are not allowed. And variables, they can be of any length. I can just write the character is strong. This can be a variable, so it can be of any length. Um, for a simple instance, let's take an example of a variable. Let's take string one as our variable name, and in the string one, I am going to pass skill snap is the okay typo is the best YouTube channel, and I want to print this. So simply, if you are passing string one, this, let's just comment this out. So if you comment is something in any programming language, where you can have it in your program, but if you are going to comment it, that code or that part of the sentence is not going to execute. I will just use a control and forward slash to comment it out, and you can see these are all single line comments, and that's why it is starting with hash. So if I am going to comment this out, the program will not read this, I mean the computer or the machine will not read this part of the program. This part of the program will not be executed if it is commented out. That is how you use the comments. And moreover, why use the comments is one of the question. Why use comments? To, you know, sometimes we have a ambiguity in writing code, that time you use, or when you are writing code for understanding also you use comments. So that is how you are going to use. If you hit on enter, see, Skill Snap is the best YouTube channel. And also one more thing, this was asked in one of the interview. So if what if I write it as print of string one? I know most of you would say obviously string one would be printed. Yes. So whenever you're using variables, please do not use such, you know, apostrophe, single quotes or double quotes. Your variables have to be written like this: print of variable name, and not print of single quotes or, you know, double quotes. If you are going to give single quotes or double quotes, whatever is there in between the single quotes, that will be printed, not your variable. So please do remember this. Next thing is data types. So, in the previous example which we took, where you have your kitchen, that is your memory location, and then you have those dabbas, those are variables. And how do you define the size of the dabba? I cannot store salt, you know. Let's say I'm storing salt in the rice dabba, and you know I'm storing rice in the salt dabba. Just imagine salt, I don't need much of salt, I only need little of the salt, and the salt quantity would also be less. But rice I would need more, and you know the rice quantity is more, so that has to be stored in a bigger dabba. If I'm going to interchange or, you know, uh, misplace them, or you know put them in a wrong location or in a wrong dabba, so that would be a very tedious thing, and that would be very confusing. Also, it will either be an overflow of things or underflow of things, right? The main important task, you know, for a machine is to allocate spaces or to allocate memory within the memory location. If you are having certain type of data, that has to go into certain memory. If you are having a certain type of data, that has to get so and so memory space, or how much of amount, like how much of space it has to get. If I have to store water, I have to store that in a bottle. Similarly, if I have to store an integer, that has to be stored in a integer format or an integer data type. Similarly, if I have to store salt, that has to be stored in a small dabba. So data types are like that only. You just have to categorize, like, you know, data types, what they say, they categorize the variable. So if you say, the most common things in data types are numeric data types, sequence data types, set, dictionary, and boolean data types. So there are here the major breakdown of Python data types. We will discuss only few. That is, firstly, the numeric data types. It consists of int, float, and complex. So why all of this is, int, what is there, no, it will occupy 4 bytes of memory. Similarly, float also will occupy 4 bytes of memory. If you have a string or a character, that will occupy 1 or 2 bytes of memory depending upon your computer architecture. So, depending upon the quantity, you will decide the dabba to store. Similarly, depending upon the data type, you will decide the memory. If you have an integer data type, that will take 4 bytes. If you have a float, that will take 4 bytes of your memory to store. If you have like a decimal or something, that will take 8 bytes of memory to store. And similarly, if you have a boolean type, that would take only 1 byte. So one bit, in fact, sorry, my bad, that is 1 bit. So that's how the memory is allocated for different data types. So if you see integer, what does integer have? It either has a positive values or the negative values and a zero. That's it. And floating numbers are, they are like digital decimal points, like 3.14, 2.15, 4.87, like that. And complex numbers consist of real and both imaginary part. So you can have 2 plus 3 ij, 5 minus 6j, like that. And sequence data types. Here we will only discuss string as of now. List, tuple, set, and dictionary. These four we will see in detail in upcoming videos. And string basically, in English also we just say string as a set of characters. So let's say like hello, Python, Java, like that. And if you come to Boolean, Boolean is just a true or false. Like you either have a true value or you either have a false value. You either have a zero or you either have a one. So only two values for Boolean. And if you see the data types here, I have just simplified things here. So it's like integers, you have positive, negative, and zero. And string example would be a sun, moon, float, like that. And Boolean would have true or false. And there is a none data type also. We will learn about it also in future. And let's try printing the type of these data types. Let's say a equal to 5, and I want to know what is the type of a. So I will simply print type of a. And if I hit enter, you see a is of class integer, so that is of data type integer. Let's have b is equal to 3 plus 6j, and I want to print type of b. Next thing I want to do, so for this I have to get it as integer. And sorry, okay, so this is integer. And the next type I should get it as complex number. Let's try printing this. Yes, you can see this is class int and this is class complex. Now if I'm going to give c is equal to 89.70, and if I want to print the type of c, it has to give me that it is a float. Oh, sorry. Yeah, it has to give me that it is of type float. Let's see what happens. Yes, if you can see, the first one is integer, the second one, the b variable, is 3 plus 6ij, that is a complex number, and the third one is float. Next, what we have discussed about string. Let's say I want to give in a d variable, I want to store the thing skill snap, and I want to print the type of d. What would it give? Yes, obviously it is going to give me the type as string. See, the class str, if you can see. And similarly, if I want to type, let's say if I want to type age of a person, so age is, let's say 19 years, what would be the age be? Print of type of age. So integer. So you can just play around with this data types. You can just play around with the type. And in the next video I'm going to come up with the operations you can do on data types. That is, what kind of operators are there, what kind of operations you can do, what kind of things you can perform. So that's it for this video. So thank you everyone. Please like, do, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel.